All right, brothers and sisters, I am back at it again. All right, I want to come to you today and speak concerning the number five. Now, most of you all, when you see the number five, all right, you run to YouTube, Google, and you type in this number and you get some angel numbers that pop up. All right, this is not a video about angel numbers. This is not a video about gematria. I'm simply sharing with you the biblical definition of the number five and these other numbers. All right, so today I'm going to be pulling from my book right here called The Spiritual and Prophetic Meaning of Numbers. This book took years to compile all the different scriptures and the definitions of these numbers. And I simply see how the Most High uses the number over and over again throughout the scriptures, and I draw the definition based on how the Most High uses that number. So if you are a person that sees the number five in your dreams and your visions, I want you to keep these words in your mind. The number five is associated with abundance. I know some people might start smiling about that one. Associated with abundance, multiplication, increase, division, a penalty, or revelation. All right, so it's a few different things about the number five that will put a smile on someone's faces. I know some of these other numbers, I have someone's sad and down, but the number five has a few different words that's associated with increase. All right, so it said, throughout my experience of being numbers conscious, I have heard quite a few preachers relate the number five to grace. That may be a meaning of this number, but it's not one that I have witnessed throughout my personal search of this definition. Only thing that I can associate number five, the connection with five and grace, is that grace has five letters. I don't see grace as number five as so many different people say within certain circles. If you keep seeing the number five in your dreams, visions, or within your daily activities, understand that that five represents abundance, multiplication, division, judgment, increase, penalties, or a revelation. Of course, the Almighty can have many more meanings for this number, but these are the ones that I've discovered during my studies of the scriptures. So the first word we're going to talk about, number five, is has to deal with abundance. Genesis chapter 1, verse 20. And the Most High said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that have life, and the fowl that may fly above the earth in the open firmament of the heaven. Genesis chapter 1, verse 21. And the Most High created great whales, and of every living creature that moveth, which the waters brought forth abundantly after their kind, and every winged fowl after his kind. And the Most High saw that it was good. Genesis 1 and 22. And the Most High blessed them, saying, be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters in the seas, and let the fowls multiply in the earth. So here on the fifth day of creation, the Most High commanded the waters to bring forth abundantly. The widespread waters help to extend life to the various creatures in the marine kingdom. I am quite sure that a few of you are hoping that the number five means abundance in your life. As you can see in the verse 22 of chapter 1, a commandment was given to the creatures to be fruitful and to multiply. Multiplication is another word associated with the number five. Now we're going to talk about multiplication for a second. Mark chapter 6 and verse number 37. And he answered and said unto them, give ye them to eat. And they said unto him, shall we go and buy 200 pennies worth and give them to eat? In verse 38, he said unto them, how many loaves have you had? Go and see. And they knew, and they said, 5 loaves and 2 fishes. So we see back in the chapter, and if you go back and watch the video about the number 2, you can see that I talked about the number 2 being associated with division, but also being associated with multiplication. And we see right here that the number 5 is associated with multiplication. 5, right? He said 5 loaves and 2 fishes. All right, so now they broke them down in ranks, and they sat down in ranks of hundreds and fifties. Verse 41. And when he had taken the 5 loaves and 2 fishes, he looked up to heaven, he blessed, Baruch, and break the bread and loaves and gave them to his disciples and set them before them, and 2 fishes divided he among them. And they did eat of the loaves, were about 5,000 men. 5,000. All right, 5,000 people receiving this increase. 5,000 people receiving multiplication. So we're going to talk about this for a second. The Messiah had compassion on the people and made a miraculous provision for them. 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish were multiplied to feed nearly 5,000 men. This did not even include women and children. Also, they were sat down in ranks by hundreds and fifties. Hundreds and fifties are both divisible by the number 5. Keep that in mind, okay? So increase is the next word I want to speak on as it relates to the number 5. Increase. Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 23. And when you shall come into the land and shall have planted all manner of trees for food, then you shall count the fruit thereof as uncircumcised. 3 years shall it be as uncircumcised unto you, it shall not be eaten. Leviticus chapter 19 and 24. But in the 4th year, all the fruit thereof shall be holy to praise the Most High withal. 25 is what I want to get to. And in the 5th year shall you eat of the fruit thereof, that it may yield unto you the increase thereof. Remember, the number 5 is associated with increase. Genesis chapter 41, verse 34. Let Pharaoh do this, and let him appoint officers over the land, and take up the 5th part of the land of Egypt in the 7 plenteous years. So in the years of the increase, they were commanded to take the 5th part. The 5th part was 20%, but it was to yield increase for the land and to put aside for the lean months. Genesis 47 and 24. And it shall come to pass in the increase that you shall give the 5th part unto Pharaoh, and 4 parts shall be your own for the seed and of the field and for your food, and for them of your household, and for food for your little ones. Go back to the beginning part of that verse again. And it shall come to pass in the increase that you shall give the 5th part to Pharaoh, in the increase. Matthew chapter 25, verse 14. For the kingdom of heaven is as a man traveling into a far country, who called his own servants and delivered it unto them his goods. And he gave unto one 5 talents, and the other 2 talents. Remember, you see in the 2 fish, the 5 loaves and the 2 fish, right here, the 5 talents and the 2, right? The number 2 and 5 have to deal with multiplication and increase. And so he gave one 5 talents, the other 2, and to the other 1, and to every man according to his several ability, and he straightway took his journey. Number 16, then he that had received the 5 talents went and traded them with the same, and made 5 other talents. 5 other talents, 5, that's increased. 17, and likewise he that received 2, he gained also 2. So the people that had 5 talents and the 2 talents, they doubled their investment. They multiplied their investment. 5 and 2 have to deal with multiplication and increase. The person that had 1 talent, he hid it in the earth. Another word that's associated with number 2 is preparation. 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 40. And he took his staff in his hand and chose him 5 smooth stones out of the brook, and he put them in the shepherd's bag which he had, even in his hand, and he drew near to the Philistine. All right, 5 smooth stones out of his hand. Some people, they like to say that stands for JESUS. All right, I'll let them go ahead and say that. But he said, if you know anything about the Bible, I'm quite sure that you have heard the historical account of David and Goliath. David conquered the giant by smiting him with one of the 5 stones that he had for the battle. Some may ask why he only grabbed one rock, from the brook if he was so confident in his ability. I will leave that up to you scholars to debate. All right. So now keep this in mind. This, along with the scriptures below, are perfect examples that link the number 5 to preparation. Matthew chapter 25, verse 1. Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps, and they went forth to meet the bridegroom. Verse 2. And 5 of them were wise, and 5 of them were foolish. They that were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them, but the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. So you have the number 5 wise women, they were prepared. 5 foolish were not prepared when the Messiah came back. Also, like I talked about multiplication, the number 5 is associated with division. All right. Luke chapter 12 and verse 52. let me go and read the excerpt of this. All right. And like I said, I'm reading certain excerpts from the book. I'm not going to read it all because it can make these studies a lot longer than what I probably want to intend them to be. And also, this can encourage you to go get you a copy of this book and read it on your own. In the parable of the 10 virgins from Matthew chapter 25, the women were divided into two groups of five. Divided into two groups of five. 5 of them were wise, and the other 5 were classified as foolish. So let's go down to Luke chapter 12 and verse 52. For from henceforth there shall be 5 in one house divided, 3 against 2 and 2 against 3. You see that? So that links number 5 with division and multiplication. 5 can be associated with a penalty. Leviticus chapter 5 and verse 15. If a soul commits a trespass and sins through ignorance in the holy things of the Most High, then he shall bring for his trespass against the Most High a ram without blemish out of the flock, without estimation by shekels of silver, after the shekel of the sanctuary for a trespass offering. Verse 16, and he shall make amends for the harm that he have done in the holy thing, and he shall add the 5th part to thereto, and give it unto the priest, and the priest shall make an atonement for him with the ram of the trespass offering, and it shall be forgiven him. So now the number 5 is associated with a penalty. Adding the 5th part if you need to make amends for harm. Leviticus chapter 6 and 4. Then it shall be, because he have sinned and is guilty, that he shall restore that which he have taken away violently, or the thing which he have deceitfully gotten, or that which was delivered unto him, or the lost thing which he have found. Leviticus 6 and 5, or all about which he has sworn falsely, he shall even restore it the principal, and he shall add the 5th part more thereto, and he shall give it unto him who appertaineth in the day of his trespass offering. 2 Chronicles 12 and 1. And it came to pass, when Rehoboam had established the kingdom and had strengthened himself, he forsook the law of the Most High, and all of Israel with him. Verse 2, and it came to pass that in the 5th year of King Rehoboam, Shishak, king of Egypt, came up against Jerusalem because they had transgressed against the Most High. All right, so now we had the number. So it said, just as so many have done throughout the pages of history, Rehoboam lifted himself up with pride. He forsook the law of the Almighty and assisted the nation of Israel in doing the same. It is very interesting to note that the Most High waited until the 5th year to punish him. This is another scripture that connected number 5 to a penalty or a judgment. Exodus chapter 22 verse 1. If a man shall steal an ox or a sheep and kill it or sell it, he shall restore 5 ox for a ox and 4 sheep for a sheep. So the penalty for stealing an ox in ancient times was to restore 5 ox for 1. 5 is associated with a penalty. You had to pay 5 times as much for their wickedness. They had to. Revelation. So number 5 is dealing with the revelation as well. Ezekiel chapter 1 verse 1. Now it came to pass in the 30th year, in the 4th month, in the 5th day of the month, as I was among the captives by the river of Kabar, that the heavens were open, and I saw visions of the Most High. So this happened. Ezekiel revelation, his vision was given to him in the 5th day of the month. The 5th day. All right. The Most High doesn't just do things on accident. Now, Ezekiel chapter 1, verse 2. In the 5th day of the month, which was the 5th year of King Jehoiakim's captivity. So he gave this word to him on the 5th day of the month in the 5th year of the king's reign. Keep that in mind. Ezekiel chapter 8, verse 1. And it came to pass in the 6th year, in the 6th month, in the 5th day of the month, as I sat in my house, and the elders of Judah sat before me, that the hand of the Most High fell there upon me. The number 5 is associated with revelation. Ezekiel chapter 33, verse 21. And it came to pass in the 12th year of our captivity, in the 10th month, in the 5th day of the month, that one had escaped out of Jerusalem came unto me, saying, the city is smitten. So Ezekiel received the revelation that Jerusalem was smitten on the 5th day of the 10th month of the 12th year. Revelation 6 and 9. And when he had opened the 5th seal, Revelation 5th seal, and when he opened the 5th seal, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of the Most High and for the testimony which they held. This revelation was given as the 5th seal was opened up. So if you continue to see the number 5, think about abundance, think about multiplication, increase, division, retribution, judgment, and revelation. Evaluate your life and ponder on which of these definitions may be applicable to you. The reason why you keep seeing the number 5 could be associated with more than one of the definitions written in this chapter. Moreover, pray to the Creator so that you will receive clarity and revelation. So we're going to do this recap one more time. If you are a person that continues to see the number 5, think about abundance, think about multiplication, think about increase, think about division, think about a penalty, and think about revelation. So if this video right here has helped you in any type of way, all right, share this video with someone else so that they can be able to benefit from this knowledge that's coming forth about the spiritual and prophetic meaning of numbers from a biblical standpoint. I pray the Most High be with each and every single one of you. Until the next time.